Hello, welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I'm Terry, this is Jen.
Hello.
We're starting early because Jen and I were talking and covering all of the topics that we were going to cover on the show anyway, so I figured, you know what, why waste the conversation? Let's talk about the stuff where people can hear us. So, as you can see from the heading, the stream title, and the description, Mixtape is obviously the game Mixtape, which is the greatest game ever made, according to journalists. TISM is not autism, though there may be some of that involved. It's the Incredible Salt Mine, which was the podcast that Dankula, Bearing, and the Quartering were doing. And the Quartering has decided to just nuke the entire channel. Bearing and Dankula not too happy about that. And Reform, well, Nigel Farage's Reform Party won a lot of local elections in England, and I'm kind of happy about that. So yes, before we get too far away from it, I'll say hello to chat. So
good idea.
Genty Maxi, whoever that is.
Yee.
Don't know who that is. There's JB, Radscord, and then Blakester has also said hello to us in chat. So hello to all of you, except that weird Jen person. I don't know who that is. So how are you?
I'm well. I've watched a couple playthroughs of one of the names of the topics we have tonight. And,
yes.
I'll wait for my joke. I'll wait for the topic.
I've not actually seen a playthrough of Mixtape. I've seen clips, like people have posted the clip of the chick saying she's going to burn the building, like to burn the house down, and the bit where she's on like a bike and like you can just put down the controller and the whole thing plays itself.
Pretty much.
And the reason that made me laugh is there's a YouTuber who goes by the name of Sebi Webs, and when he was playing Final Fantasy 12, his whole gimmick was that because of the way combat works in that game, he could put down the controller and he was like, I beat this boss without pushing a single button. And so now Mixtape has come out, and he's like, will this game make me push more buttons than Final Fantasy 12 did?
The answer is no. Nope.
So I haven't played it, obviously. I don't know how automatic it is. I don't know if it's literally just you can put down the controller and the entire thing will play out like a 3-hour movie. I don't know if there's some bits that need you to control it, like, you've got to like walk to the next cutscene kind of thing. I don't know how it works, but I've seen a lot of automatic gameplay, and there was one guy who was just going to prove that he was like not even holding the controller, because
there's based off of what I've seen from the playthroughs, there's less actual gears to the game than Dustborn. Dustborn had more activities to it, where like you still kind of had to play out numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
At best, there's like you do have to move from scene to scene, so there is that much mechanics. But like the most that you see from mechanics in the game is making a slushie.
Oh God. And Tier in chat says we're a bit early. Yeah, as I said at the start, basically we were already talking about the topics, and I figured why waste the conversation. Let's go live so people can hear it. That's the reason for that.
I didn't even know about the driving thing, because Atreus didn't.
Right.
So my first watch through was Atreus, because he's a funny black guy. Okay. And he didn't let on with his expression that he wasn't doing anything. Like he didn't look impressed about the whole thing in the first place.
Yeah,
because he was kind of paid to do it. I made the joke, just let it happen. Like let her run into one of the cars, like at the end of game. Then you can be like, see, I played through it. Yeah, I didn't know that you couldn't crash.
Yeah, no, that was because there's a tweet, a Twitter account, Christina Tasty, who was like complaining about the game. And like she said, this is like 3 minutes of uninterrupted gameplay, and it was just a character running to the right and like just doing stuff. And I didn't realize how automatic it all was. I thought she was like complaining that nothing was happening, but she was actually complaining that she wasn't doing anything.
It's also things that they do in the game. I'm like, I know that you really want to relive somebody else's childhood, but it would help
Yeah.
if you actually asked first how or what they did.
Yes.
Like, so they're, I think they are taking this from Canada. I'm pretty for sure that whoever their DEI person is probably a Canadian, because they are taking scenes from up here.
Okay.
But they're trying to rake leaves, right? And she's trying to, get rid of the leaves. And instead of making a pile, she kicks them out of a circle. And I'm like, for one thing, no kid would have done that back in my day, because they made the piles not just to help clean up. Obviously, if you're doing chores, that's what you do.
Yeah.
It's also because if you have bikes the way that they had bikes, you're running into that pile first. You might have to fix it afterwards so you can help get rid of this shit. But no, you're jumping in it. So you're making a full pile. And I'm just like, this is some rich libtard who's never even asked their parents about their childhood. Like, they're getting it from Stranger Things.
Yes, there's been a lot of people pointing out the lack of accuracy with regards to representing the 90s, which is what it's trying to do. It's basically been described as, a Zoomer being nostalgic for a childhood that they didn't actually experience.
It's what it is. And I'm like, that's really kind of sad. Like, you guys had your own childhood. I know people your age who still enjoyed theirs. So I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, one of my favorite things is I've seen at least 2 YouTubers basically come out and say, on behalf of all millennials, I apologize.
Like, the millennials had good cartoons. They had decent TV shows. Like, did they have weirdos involved? All of us did. Terry, all of us did.
Yeah. No, I think the real controversy with Mixtape is obviously that all of the game journalists are saying 10 out of 10, it's a masterpiece. And no, of course it's not.
I think the worst thing about it is the kissing scene.
That was disgusting.
So, for one thing, I just want to point out, at no point in my life did I ever kiss any of my friends. Sure. Not on the lips. I gave hugs and stuff. I could see a kiss on the cheek or something. Sometimes girls do that. Yeah. But, like, unless you're, like, into an experimental phase, yeah, I knew 2 girls who tried to pull that shit. Nobody went around kissing each other. Like, that's weird. I mean, that's how you spread germs. Like, we were like, I don't know about you guys, but some of us were like, don't touch my straw because you might have, like, shit on your mouth.
I remember the last day of high school, like when we all finished, there was a guy who was like hugging people goodbye, and that's about it as far as like intimacy between friends. Like, he was like overcome with like, it's the end of school, I'll probably never see you guys again. He's like giving everyone a goodbye hug, and that's it. That's about it, as emotional as and like intimate, I guess, as me and my friends ever got.
If I think of like intimacy in like the 90s, it was kids playing pranks like so one of the things I remember some of the older kids doing is they would try to see how many of them could fit into a car. It was basically their version of what TikTok kids are like now. So, like, yeah, they would try to pile in as many kids into a car. Yeah, they got into trouble because some kids obviously got hurt. But, like, they would try to see if they could get, like, 20 or 30 or 40 kids, like, to lie on each other in different ways in a car to get as many as they could. And then bring a teacher out and be like, surprise!
Yeah. And JB is saying that Expedition 33 is a movie, absolute cinema. I mean, I've heard wonderful things about Expedition 33. I haven't played it, but apparently they're buddy with Anita now, so I'm taking that as kind of a bad sign.
Yeah.
I mean, until it's confirmed that she's ruining their next game, I'm not going to be too concerned. But I mean, just the fact that they took a photo with her, it's not a good look, especially in the wake of what was the one that she was Slay the Spire. With all the controversy surrounding Slay the Spire 2, it's probably not a good idea for Sandfall to be, getting photos taken with Anita Sarkeesian of all people. So hopefully she won't ruin Expedition 34 or whatever the next game is going to be. JB says E33 is already low. Anita had nothing to do with it. No, I don't think Anita did have anything to do with Expedition 33. I'm saying that the fact that the developers are taking photos with her has bad implications for the next game. So Expedition 33 is, from as far as I can tell, completely Anita free. But if they're associating with Anita, then I would be hesitant to buy their next game, whatever that may be.
To me, that screams that they're okay with taking BlackRock money. And at the end of the day, that's kind of the big problem.
Yeah.
I get that they want an easy out to how to support yourself land, which I appreciate. They are trying to run a business. But they were doing fine on their own clout. And I'd like to see somebody actually have the bravery to try just doing their own clout.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of sad that the Chinese are doing more of that than we are.
I'm happy to buy Chinese games. If they're making the games I want and America's not, then, I mean, easy decision.
They're and this is coming from a place that really isn't free for speech. Like, they really aren't, despite what Hassan would like you to believe.
Of course.
So the fact that they're more free with this shit than these people are, I'm like, no, we don't need that. And no, I'm not an anti-diverse person. I'm an we can only have one trail of thought, which is what they are.
I mean, at this point, I am anti. Yes, I'm getting arrested for hate speech. I am against diversity. They've kind of created the situation where, in the past, if a game had a black character or a female lead character or anything like that, it was like whatever. But now, because of the culture surrounding it, if I see a game with a black or female main character, I immediately dismiss it as like, it's woke. Now, it might not be, but so much of the time, the only reason they're putting a diverse character into something is to be woke. And,
well,
the 2% of the time, the 2% of the time that it's not, I'm willing to miss out on because of the other 98%.
And that's sad. Like, I'm not blaming you for that. Like, that's their own fault. Like, it's like stupid shit. Yeah. Like, they're doubling down on it with stupid shit like the Odyssey, where it's like, God, you don't even need to do this. You don't need to do this. Like, there's so many. Like, if you really want to make a cast where you really have it, make it current day. For fuck's sakes, make it current day. That makes sense.
But no, I did like that everyone was pointing out these are the people who screech about representation, and there's not a single Greek person in the movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, really?
And earlier he was saying that Slay the Spire 2 is a good game and Anita poisoned it. As far as I'm aware, Anita doesn't handle like game mechanics. So assuming that Slay the Spire 2 plays similar to Slay the Spire 1, it's going to be an excellent game in terms of gameplay. But what Anita does is all of the how females are represented. So why is she so sexy? Yeah. Why is the character so sexy? Why can I see cleavage? Why isn't this character in a wheelchair? That kind of nonsense.
Like, don't get me wrong, I don't like her involvement at all because she's not in it for the enjoyment of the game.
No.
Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I could push back at some of the guys who are like, well, they need to be half naked all the time. I'm like, no, not really, no. But sometimes with certain costumes, it makes sense because, like, if you were really going with like a traditional Roman outfit, the men didn't have underwear on under those, right?
Right.
So as somebody from the modern day, yes, I do like the historical stuff. I do. I'm really not used to a bunch of men having their ding-dong-longs out and about.
Fair enough.
So like, I'm okay with some things being changed a little bit because of some, like, I mean, I don't think the guys would like that either, but like, I don't really want to see a bunch of women twats either, so if they pinch it a little bit to cover a little bit more of like
Yeah. I think it depends on the tone of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dead or Alive should absolutely have tits out and basically be soft core porn as much as it can get away with, because from the beginning that was the intent. Dead or
And
Alive was always look at the sexy ladies who happen to be fighting.
And I'm okay with that too. Like, a lot of what I've said before in the past is like basic common sense that we've had since long before our childhood. If the thing isn't appropriate for childhood, like children, make that clear. Like, if this is just for adults, I don't give a shit how raunchy it gets. I was even going to say, like, if they wanted a version of the game where everybody is in traditional historical version of the outfit where no, you don't have underwear under, I'm okay with that, because I'm okay with that. Like, just because I don't want to see ding-alongs swinging everywhere or that much that much lady bits doesn't mean that some people don't like the real history stuff. Like,
no, I think that's fair. I think if the game makes it clear that it's going for historical accuracy, and as a consequence of that, they do portray them accurately and they're not wearing underwear and you can see more than most people would perhaps like to see, then I don't really have a problem with that, because it's not doing it for, sort of like social signaling. It's, we've committed ourselves to accuracy and this is what it was back then, and we're accurately portraying that.
I mean, it's technically like that right now. Like, if you were to do like a story where you're encountering, and no, I'm not saying all of Africa, I am saying like really exclusive tribes, still have women whose entire outfit is breast free.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not going to tell them what to do or what to wear. They've been doing that as a tradition for thousands of years. So if that's in a game, them titties are out, So
no, that used to be the joke, is that all the like teenage boys with the like National Geographic and look up the African tribe pictures, and that'll be all be the topless ladies, but not very attractive topless ladies. So
it's stuff with context and where it's going to and who's really viewing it. Like, would I want like a small child to play that game? No. I might not even have them going to that deep a level of history in the first place, because a lot of that's a little too deep for a kid anyway.
If they make a Barney the Dinosaur game, there should be zero sexuality in it. Like, I think that's pretty universally agreed. If your target audience is children, then no, don't put sex appeal in it. That's common sense. Tier in chat was saying, I don't support people who hate me, and if you have Anita payroll, that means I'm paying someone who hates me. Yeah, I mean, that's the general consensus. That's why no one wants to buy Slay the Spire anymore, is like, even if it's a good game, there's other good games that don't put money in Anita's pocket, and fuck Anita. If we can build the association in the industry that you hire this woman, your product dies before it even releases, then maybe they'll stop hiring her. Probably not. Probably not, because they're getting their money from BlackRock, not from the customers. But in a perfect world, at least we deny them one source of revenue.
You know what would be more fun for me? It's like, okay, they've got Anita there. All right. They need to bring in Miss Savvy.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing with a lot of these feminists like Anita, and yeah, they do ruin it for the men. Obviously, that's part of the joy. They get to ruin it for the men.
Yeah.
They speak for all the women. And no, I don't play every raunchy game. I do admit I have my own flex on that. But I've known girls to be like absolutely way more raunchy than me. Some of the stuff that Miss Savvy is into, I'm like, ooh, okay. But
most of the women also want attractive female characters. They might not want the tits out to the extent that the guys want them out, but they do want the characters to look sexy. That's why, like, Eve from Stellar Blade is such a popular cosplay, because she's not naked by any means, but she is sexy, and a lot of women want to dress up like her because it's hot.
It's also not that I've grown up hating all ugly characters. No, it's more of just like some of the ugly characters had context called character.
Yeah.
Like their character was overall cool. Like that's a thing with a lot of our literature is you might have had one or two characters that was like the Goonies with the one character who looks like a retard.
Yeah.
And
I've
he
never
ends up,
actually seen the Goonies, but I do know the character that you mean.
and he ends up being a really chill guy, or he ends up being like kind of a good guy, so
Yeah.
sometimes kids can overlook, okay, yeah, this person was scary because the context of their character shown through. A lot of the times we consider people scary is because they fucking are.
Yeah. And Silver Ravenwing says women are just as horny freaks as men. They're treating it like a bloody sin for either side. Well, I think the difference there is what turns men on is very visual, whereas what turns women on is more, I guess, like emotional. Like they want, like for them, a sexy man is not a naked man; it's a man in a suit kind of thing. Whereas a sexy woman to a man, like the fewer clothing that she's wearing, the better. So I think what appeals to women, like it's a lot more socially acceptable for like a handsome shirtless man than a beautiful topless woman. So a lot of what women find attractive is not demonized in the same way because it's just more socially acceptable.
I think we're still an ape species, to be honest. And I
Cool.
honestly think that feminists wouldn't hear me out on this one, but I think it's a mixture of both. I think women still kind of like to see that a man can handle himself, that he's still kind of strong and capable of caring for himself. But they also like to know that he's a good family man.
Right.
Like, are you going to be good with the kids? Are you good with me? Like, like women, some women are aware of the fact that they're a bat off of hell for no reason for like a couple of days a month. I hate it when I'm like that, but it's just how it is.
Well, biologically, men and women are looking for different things. Like men are looking for fertility, and they want good genes because once they've impregnated the woman, strictly speaking, they could leave. Like they shouldn't, obviously, but from a strictly biological perspective, it is in a male's best interest to impregnate a woman, then move on, impregnate another woman, and just keep doing that. It's not great for the kids, but from a evolutionary drive perspective is what I'm talking about. Whereas a woman is going to carry that kid for 9 months and doesn't really have a choice. She has to raise the kid. So she wants a man that is going to stick around even if it's against biological urges. So that's why they've got like conflicting drives there, and that's why men and women like different things in terms of erotica.
It's also why you're not supposed to use sex as like a punishment in relationships. Like it's fine to be like, physically speaking, I'm not up to it. Like I know the joke is it's I've got a headache, but no, if you're like physically not well, it's not sexy. It's not. No, it's just not. But if you're using that excuse every time you're just in a crap mood, or you're taking it out on him for whatever reason, I'm like, doesn't mean he has an invitation to it either. I'm just saying.
No, I think obviously, like JB is saying, don't rape your spouse. Well, obviously, there is such a thing as spousal rape. I know that there's some extreme people who say that the man actually does have a right to sex whenever, wherever, which I think goes way too far. I don't think that's true at all. Obviously, the wife does have to consent to sex, but I do think she has an obligation to have sex with her husband. I think that's the marriage contract essentially is you're promising the man sex and the man is promising you security. And for the woman to renege on that, I think is effectively breaking the contract. The man can't just like demand it whenever he wants, but I do think there is, or at least should be, an obligation on the woman to satisfy his sexual needs.
Yeah, basically I'm agreeing with Silver Ravenwing. Like it shouldn't be used as punishment or a way to get your way. And in all honesty, if you're having that many problems like doing it with your spouse, there's a good sign you weren't attracted in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a big problem with today's society because of the broadening of access that women have to men. Is they're all competing over the top men, and so when they're forced to settle down with a man that in a different society they would be like equal sexual market value to, like the kind of men that they can actually get as opposed to just sleep with, they're not attracted to them because they've tasted the ambrosia of the gods. They don't want to go down and eat a regular peach. So yeah, I do think that women having unlimited access to the top 10% of men and then being forced to settle for someone who will actually take them, I don't think that's good for society.
Yeah.
And we have AJ Adam in chat. He's if your lady becomes a tank after a child, you've got to take care of that machine. Well, I mean, I think socially, the man should be obliged to take care of the wife and kid. I was saying biologically, the evolutionary drive is to, impregnate them and move on. I don't think you should. I think that's something that society quite rightly reins in, but left purely to instinct, I think that's what a lot of men would want to do.
I think it's the nature of the woman that you're dealing with. Like, if you know that they're going to be prone to being lazy after childbirth, or they're not going to want to get back up and try to lose it, nagging them isn't going to make them do it either. It's just going to make them resent you.
Yes.
It's more of like, if you can figure out ways to encourage them to want to go back that way anyway. Because I'm not about shitting on fat people. I'm more about remembering how better I felt when I was a kid, and how much I ended up resenting the weight because it did slow me down. It did keep me at a weight. And now that I'm older, yes, I've lost a bunch of it. I know it still kind of affected me, like, yeah, I'm better now. I don't doubt I can still recover from it.
Yeah.
But the reason I would discourage it now is because I've had that experience, like when I was big, I didn't notice it as much because I was young.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I gained a lot of weight over COVID, and thank you, Mr. Motorbike. So yeah, over the COVID thing, I did gain a lot of weight, and I found that I was getting puffed out just walking to the shops. It's like 10 minutes away, and I was like exhausted just walking to the shops. And so now that I've lost all the weight that I gained over COVID, the difference is really remarkable. It's like night and day. Like I can walk to the shops and back, and sure, I'll be like sweaty, but I won't be like gasping for breath like I was when I was fatter.
It's also one of those things where, like, I've known both sides of current day parents that managed both. And I do understand it's a how do you organize your time and where are your skill sets kind of thing. One of my coworkers had 3 kids, and she recovered from the weight loss right away. But she also grew up learning a lot of her mom's French recipes. Yes, I teased her for being from Quebec. But she was from like, she grew up in Alberta, so she spoke English. But like, she still had her mom's old recipes. And that's actually really valid. A lot of people get into the habit of eating takeout, frozen stuff, and it has to do with their time schedule. And I understand that. Like, when your kids all have different programs they're into, they have different schools, maybe they're at different stages, so you're going from one end to the other, and then on top of that you might have a job. So I understand that all that juggling does mean cutting corners, because my mom did. Like, the reason I think she gained weight is because her kids took up so much of her time. But
that happens.
But when she would go on to big diets, she would correct for her own food. She would try to find ways to pick a day during the month to do all their big cooking, so she could have like spaghetti sauce for lasagnas or spaghetti, or she would do a bunch of stews, things that you could just freeze. So she found a way to free up her time.
I mean, I used to live off DoorDash. That's why I gained so much weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then by complete chance, I got a thing in the mail advertising food delivery service with like microwave meals. And as soon as I switched over to that, I dropped like 10 kilos. Like that's not even an exaggeration. 10 kilos just from not eating junk food every day.
Yeah. It's also not falling into the habit of comfort foods. Like I do that too. I'm like, shit, am I eating ice cream because I need ice cream, or am I eating it because I'm just blah? You know? And then when you correct for that and you're like, okay, well, sometimes it's okay to have a treat, but you shouldn't do it all the time or just because you're depressed, you know?
Yeah. It's all about moderation.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's nothing wrong with eating ice cream occasionally. There's nothing wrong with eating a pizza occasionally, but you shouldn't have it all the time. You do need to keep it as sort of like a luxury treat rather than a staple of your diet. And we've had a request from chat. They want us to move on to the quartering. So
okay.
Okay, so as I'm sure most of you are aware, Jeremy kind of lost his mind and went on a deleting spree. And if he wants to delete his own shit, that's fine. No one cares. But he also deleted all of the Incredible Salt Mine videos. And Bearing and Dankula very much do mind that he did that. They saw, was it like 7 years of their life just go up in smoke because Jeremy went nuts. So not very happy with him over that.
Yeah, it's not just him; it's everybody else he's dragging in.
Yeah.
So I'll be a little bit generous to Jeremy. Melanie was in her own corner of trouble before she joined his panel. Yeah. He was the one to reach out for her because she went onto this blocking spree of not talking to any of her friends when they were just like, I don't really agree with your last video. Apparently that's enough for her to be like, well, you're not my friend if you don't agree with me entirely on everything I say. Well, that's what she's been doubling it down with Jeremy, is that he's her friend and she doesn't believe any of this shit, and you know, because he believed her on hers, and it's like, so to be your good friend, they have to believe everything that you say. Nothing you say is anything that anyone can like disagree with. And then Jeremy's basically the same kind of guy. Like he's basically grifted by having every other more talented person on his panel.
Yeah.
Because he was never the draw for Bearing and Dank's show. They were.
If you told me that list of names, I'd be like, Bearing and Dankula, cool. Who's the third guy?
Yes. Like I'm pretty sure a good chunk of his audience came to follow him because they thought he was friends with Bearing and Dank. And fair enough, they were. But apparently if they're like, hey man, you're kind of taking things a little too far, and you kind of look like you're like dying from whatever it is that you're doing to yourself. Lord forbid a friend tell you that you kind of look like you're on a bender and you're killing yourself a little, because he looks like he looks like shit.
He does. But no, I mean, that's what a good friend should do. Like, you don't want a friend that is going to let you destroy your own life. If they see you doing something self-destructive, they should want to step in and say, dude, maybe chill a bit, because you're getting out of control. So, I mean, I don't think I have any self-destructive habits, but if I did, and my friends saw that, I would hope that they would stop me, because that's, the right thing to do.
Well, and then along comes Andy, which I don't doubt that they actually have older beef. Like, I don't know entirely what happened to them after a certain point, because I disevolved from a lot of the blood sports shit. Yeah. I'm just not into autistic screeching. I've never been really good with that kind of crap.
I used to watch Andy back when he was making fun of Francesca Ramsey. Yes. As soon as he moved on to the blood sports thing, I just lost interest entirely.
That's basically where I'm at. Like, I remember when he was humping trees and like pouring milk on himself.
Yeah, setting fire to his nipple and shit like that. But yeah, where was it? Silver Ravenwing, I think, said nearly every one of his favorite YouTubers has gone downhill. That's why I just changed my favorite YouTubers. Like, once upon a time, I used to watch fucking Amazing Atheist. then I changed. He changed. I changed. Now I'm not interested in his content anymore. And that I mean, I used to watch Ben Shapiro. Now I'm not interested in his content. Yeah, this is like if someone stops being what you want to watch in a content creator, then just watch someone else.
Well, that's entirely a part of why I like everyone on, well, almost everyone on that list is part of the reason why I realized there was a problem with Jeremy in the first place, because everywhere he would invest or stick his nose into something, it was basically drama in the conservative side.
Okay.
And it was basically, yet again, somebody that I'm like, are you being two-faced? Where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to this guy, but I have nothing to offer him whatsoever. And then, he would do it during like, and I'm on nobody's side when it comes to Crowder's divorce. Like,
Right.
divorces are crap. Both people can be shitty. And in all honesty, maybe they're both shitty people. I don't know. But he was all like, oh, I'm going to be big buddies with Steven because Steven absolutely has a massive crowd. And the way he went about it was just like, oh man, you were a stink stain. You were trying to grift for this guy to try to get something from him, as though the guy isn't kind of hypersensitive right now, because a lot of people are doing that. Yeah. And then he did it to Tim Pool, and then I think there was a couple of other people that I don't necessarily follow that he did similar things to. And I'm just like, nah, he's just drama farming conservative side, because he probably, a lot of people who do what he does this because they think Christians donate more. I'll be real with you, Terry. I've had this opinion since the skeptic side, because you see them doing this shit. And I'm like, I don't mind that Christians are generous and they're free to do what they want with their own money. I don't like when people exploit people who are kind of probably genuinely nice about it,
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with being nice, is that it's going to get exploited by people who are not nice. So I don't think there's a problem with being nice in and of itself, but I do think you need to be wary of who you are nice to and make sure that they're receiving your generosity in the spirit it's intended, and not seeing you as a wallet that they can have free access to.
So that's why I stopped following Jeremy. Like, he's playing the, oh, I'm suddenly Christian, but like, in all honesty, he's one of those people that I kind of hope Dante's hell is real for.
Yeah.
And with Melanie, I think she just doesn't know what form of Christianity she's trying to be. Like, she goes in and out of talking like a Mormon, and like whatever book she's just decided to pick up today. And I'm like, you do realize it's not just that they translate, like they do translate different, but like sometimes the reason is because of regional, right? Like, yeah, and Mormons are their own thing. Like, they kind of are.
I never really got into Melanie Mack's content. I don't really know much about her. I know that she went all Christian, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Though I'm applying V's rule of, if you converted to Christianity after 2024, then you're lying for clout, basically. So
for me, it's more or less like, I don't know if she's sincere or not. She does give off the impression that she might be, but her form of research is to cherry pick. And that's why, I mean, I don't think she knows what book she's on. And I know this stuff because of debating with Christians, or because of listening to them read their own scriptures and stuff. But like,
I think Melanie Mack is completely insincere. Basically, she saw that Christianity was gaining ground and she wanted in. There's an outside chance that she's sincere in her conversion, but there's also an outside chance that Nala Ehor was sincere in her conversion and not just using it to farm more Sims. I don't believe her. I don't believe either of them.
For the record, Silver Raven Wing, I still fall into the category of, sometimes I respect what the Christians are saying because they're being sincere or they're just expressing themselves, and sometimes I make fun of them because they're just being cringe as fuck, and somebody should tell them that.
I don't have a problem with anyone's religion. Like, the way I see it is, how much is it influencing your content? Because I don't really want your content to be religion themed because
Yeah.
I'm not interested in it. So if your whole gimmick is I am the Christian YouTuber, then I'm not going to watch you. If you're a cool YouTuber that happens to be Christian, then what do I care? You can believe whatever you want.
But it's one of those things where, like, say Terry, they, Lord forbid they did another fucking Robin Hood movie.
Oh God.
But like, you know, that the context of where that time zone is coming from, you're gonna have Catholic paraphernalia in the background. Does that affect you? No, you just know that it's part of the history. Like, yeah, that's what they were doing.
No, I think stuff like that is fine. But I'm talking about if like if V started talking about the glory of the Orthodox Church. I mean, he's an atheist, but you know,
That'd be funny.
but if he was Orthodox Christian, and instead of talking about politics and video games, he started preaching about, and this is why the Orthodox Christian Church is the one true faith, and everyone else is going to burn in hell. I would stop watching him. I don't watch V for that content. If he changed his content to be that, I would stop watching. But the fact that if he behind the scenes converted to Christianity, then I wouldn't care. I know he's raising his son as a Christian because he wants his wife is a Christian, and she wants the kid to be one too.
I blame some of the satanic panic on the left because they're egging that on.
Yeah,
like they are. And I'm like, it's so immature because I wouldn't do that to a Buddhist. I sure as hell wouldn't do that to a Muslim.
Yeah, well, you'd only do it once.
Like there's just this point. Like I wouldn't do that to a Native person. Like they could be chanting to the Great Spirit. I wouldn't do that to them because they're talking to their ancestors or whatever.
Yeah, I think you can believe whatever religious beliefs you want. If those religious beliefs cause you to do harmful actions, like obviously suicide bombings, I do not approve of.
Yeah.
But if it's just, something that is personal to you and is how you choose to live your life, I don't care. My problem with Islam is, not that some people quietly decide to fast during Ramadan. It's that some of them loudly decide to explode and take other people with them. So, Silver Raven says he never did that to his Christian family. Holy crap! Yeah, I mean, I will confess, when I was younger, I was the annoying atheist type, and I would actually, I did have the belief that only an idiot would believe in Sky Daddy. But
I was more of a little shit about it. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I grew out of it. I mean, everyone goes through an obnoxious teenage phase, and then they stop being teenagers and they stop being quite so obnoxious about it.
I actually find it more interesting now that I'm older because I like history a little bit more. So, like, you can't cover a lot of history without covering where Christianity came into. Like, between the infrastructure and the buildings and the mindset of the people, it's just so obviously there. Does that mean that they're suddenly converting me for it? No, I don't mind where the stories come from. I don't mind where the philosophy came from because some of our technology did come from it too.
Of course, yeah. So, I mean, the Christian church has been very, very influential over history, and anyone trying to deny that is, kidding themselves. They've absolutely had an enormous effect on the world. Silver Ravening says he would have debates with them, but never told them they're wrong and tried to open their eyes. So you sound like you're just about as obnoxious as I was. But no, I mean, I'm now of the mind that if you're not trying to change my mind, I'm not trying to change yours. I honestly, you want to believe in the great juju in the sky, have at it. If you want to believe in a more conventional religion like Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism, have fun. Really, none of my business. like I said, it's only when you make it my business that I start to take issue with it. And yeah, as long as you're not doing that, I've got no problem. And Silver Evening says the only people he's got a beef with is Islam. I mean, Islam is fine in like Saudi Arabia. If they want to be as Muslim as they want over there, that's fine. If an individual Muslim wants to, pray 5 times a day and fast during Ramadan, that's fine. When they arrive en masse and try and convert the culture of the new country to be Muslim, that I have a problem with, and that they need to cut that shit out. That's why there's so much, deport the fuckers, and which leads to reform. The Nigel Farage's party, which is also in the title, a big part of the reason that he did so well in the local elections is people want the fucking immigrants gone. No more Muslims in our country.
Well, the thing that got to me, and it was you see it a lot more in Japan, where it's very obvious which side might be the aggressor. There's this Muslim lady going to get ramen, and she's deliberately going to shops where, yeah, they're going to be using a pork broth.
Yeah.
Like the whole picture on the billboard is about a pork ramen.
Yeah.
She wants a seafood one or like a chicken or something.
Oh, shit.
But she's not going to eat a chicken because they don't do halal kills in Japan, so that's not good enough. But seafood is fine, even though it really shouldn't be if it's Abraham. I don't know their side of Abraham when it comes to seafood.
I think if you're visiting another country, you adapt to them. You don't try and force the country to adapt to you. So if you go to Japan and all of their ramen is made with pork broth, then tough shit, either go home or eat pork broth or eat something else entirely. But you can't go around trying to demand that they make a special exception just for you because you have a particular religious belief. That doesn't.
But even then, she could have. She just didn't want to do her research on it.
Yeah.
And I say that because, like, not to interrupt you, like, Australia has some really famous seafood too, but like Japan, a lot of what Japan eats is seafood. It is the nature of where they are. So they have seafood ramen.
The most famous Japanese food is sushi, which is fish.
Yes. So, yeah, she could have found it. She just didn't want to, and that's how it is. Like, they'll assert themselves to, like, well, you're not allowed to have it. And, like, they're allowed to have what they want. You can go get to a seafood place.
Not only, like, did she not want, she actively wanted to not. She wanted to find somewhere that would not accommodate her so that she could kick up a stink about it. It's the same with, like, the gay wedding cake where they could have gone to any of like 500 different bakeries and they all would have made the gay cake, but they didn't want a gay cake. They wanted someone to not make a gay cake so that they could kick up a stink and cause trouble. And this is the same that the Muslim person was doing. They could have gotten a non-pork meal, but that wouldn't have allowed them a soapbox to try and shame the Japanese. And that's really what they were trying to do.
Yeah, you see the play of it. I'm just like, maybe the people who hates everybody is just you, and it does make me sad because, like, while I judge people based off their character, I'm not just taking that from Luther King. It was good advice and it wasn't wrong. If you judge people based off their character, there's one or two people that I know that are Muslim are okay. And I know one that's not anti-Muslim. He's ex-Muslim, if that makes. I can't remember.
Oh wow, that's brave. They don't like it when you leave.
But he makes samosas with pork. He went for pork.
Frosted Glass has joined us in chat, and he says he doesn't know who covered Mixtape, but he just watched someone stream it. Oh, we did talk about it, but I have not seen someone stream the entire thing. I've just seen clips, but. Yes, I do. The fact that all the game journals are saying we don't have to play this game 10 out of 10 is very funny to me.
Well, I don't know, like that's I'm a basic bitch, Terry. If you treat me well, I'll be like, oh, you're cool.
Yeah.
What
And
you
Silver
look
Raven
like
says,
doesn't matter so much.
imagine judging based on character and not skin color. How white coded of Jen.
I know, right?
It's yeah, no, I think in terms of the Muslim thing, clearly they were just trying to cause trouble. I think as I said, they could go any number of other places and get what they claimed that they wanted. That wasn't what they wanted. They didn't want a pork-free meal. They wanted to cause trouble, and that was what they did. Frosted says it's a glorified interactive indie film. From what I've heard, it's not even that interactive. It's just an indie film that takes 3 hours and is sold on Steam.
Also, I kept jinxing Hassan when he was in China. I kept hoping at least somebody fed him something with pork in it because they eat so many pork products in China.
Let's be real. He's not Muslim. He's superficially Muslim because it's good branding. He doesn't actually believe it. I mean, I guess theoretically he might, but for all practical purposes, no. He streams for too long. Does he? I mean, I don't watch him. Does he regularly take prayer breaks in the middle of his stream?
I don't think he's ever done that.
No, of course not, because he's not actually following the beliefs. He doesn't actually believe any of it. He's just Muslim by convenience because it's good branding in the current political climate. The audience he's trying to appeal to likes the fact that he's Muslim, so sure, he can be Muslim.
Yeah.
It's for us, it says he's whatever ethnicity suits him best at the moment. Exactly. If being Muslim suddenly becomes unpopular, he's like, well, I was never really Muslim. You know, it's just I'm socially Muslim or performatively Muslim. No, I'm never a true believer. It's like, of course. And yeah, Tia says Hassan is as Muslim as he is Japanese. Exactly. And Silver Raven, imagine being a Muslim and a communist at the same time. Yeah, I mean, see, I do believe that he's a communist in the sense that he thinks he will be the one in charge of the communist regime. So he supports communism because he thinks he'll be in charge of it. If he knew the truth of the matter, he would not be in favor of communism at all. If he knew he was going to be, executed as a useful idiot, as they usually get. They're usually the first ones up against the wall.
At least he has a. Oh, sorry.
No, Frosted says he also describes himself as a white guy when it's convenient. Yeah, of course.
He also, I get the impression he also hates his audience. So, like,
yes.
Yeah, he wouldn't even build a commune for them because he wouldn't want to hang around them.
Yeah, Frosted says Hassan would be locked up as a kulak in 10 seconds. Absolutely. He's the kind of agitator that they don't want hanging around because, as Yuri Bezmenov was saying back in the 80s, these are the people that once they see the truth of the communist regime, they're the ones who get disillusioned because they were such fierce advocates for it. They're the ones you can't afford to keep around. They're the ones that get shot so that they can't cause problems for the real regime. Yeah, so Hassan would not survive very long if he got the communism that he advocates for.
I've been calling him a turtle shell, Silver Ravenwing. Yeah. What comes out of the turtle shell is not his head. It's turtle butter.
Yeah.
What his fans eat is turtle butter. It's the only thing that makes sense because you get like stuff like Casey Tron being like, "Oh, shoo, yeah. you're just an ex-goth girl, e-girl, you're just surrounded by incels and shit." Like you ate Hassan shit for free. Yes. And then you disenfranchised your family financially because of it. You're a turtle butter eater.
I don't know how the lawsuit with Ethan is going with Casey Tron, but I'm assuming not well.
She had to admit that Hassan hadn't donated to her at all.
That's pretty funny. And yeah, Tyr is saying revolutionaries get off second after the old leaders. Well, I mean, I consider that the old leaders have to get killed for the communist regime to implement itself. So yes, obviously the old leaders get killed first so that the communists can take control. And then once they are in control, yes, the revolutionaries are just gone. Silver Ravenwing says Casey's a retard who's jealous of Shu. Yeah, of course. People actually like Shu.
Well, I think it actually really hurt Hassan's feelings that she did that. Like, she's been in the field since the skeptic days. Actually, a little bit before the skeptic days, because she was in the anti-stupid feminist days. But she's been in and around for the longest time. She's still a big Bernie bro fan, even though he's probably never going to get anywhere anymore.
Bernie, no, he's finished.
But she's still likable enough in our community because she'll still have a conversation with us, and for the most part, it's still kind of joking.
I mean, Shu is like, you know how I was saying earlier that I used to watch like Amazing Atheist because my politics were a lot different. Shu is the only one from when I was watching those kind of leftist content creators. Shu is the only one I still watch. And it's because she's not insane. Like, yes, she's very, very left. Even if the actual leftists still hate her, her beliefs are extremely left wing. But she doesn't just hate the right simply for existing. She's actually sensible. She doesn't think that men are women or anything bizarre like that. Her politics are left wing, but they're within the realm of reality. And I think just by comparison, a lot of right wingers can respect that she's managed to stay relatively grounded amidst the insanity of the rest of the left.
The reason I have this opinion, Terry, is because a lot of Hassan's female group that he follows, like the ones he kind of seems to make it indicate that that's kind of the look he likes, they tend to look a lot like Shu. I'm just saying, like, they're a younger version, sure, but you know, I remember what she looked like, and yes, she's a cute girl. Sorry, Shu, I'm not meaning to throw you this your way, but like my female girl boxes are being checked as I look at this, and I'm like, Hassan, you sad sap. I'm sorry, you got punished by Dommy Mommy.
I think Shu is beautiful. Like, I mean, obviously when she was pregnant, she was fat, and that was not as appealing. But no, I think even today, Shu is like really, really pretty. I think that's obviously a big part of her success. But no, I think wanting someone who looks like Shu makes absolute sense to me because I think Shu is like really, really good looking.
She's cute, and she's cute. Like, I mean, visually she's a good looking girl, but personality wise, she's absolutely adorable. That's why she has so much fun with her community. That's why we still have fun with her, because she is like that personally. But like Hassan, you couldn't handle someone like that because A, she's happy having a family. She wanted kids.
Yes. Silver Ravenwing says Shu is center left. The fact that you think Shu is center left shows you just how insanely left wing our culture has gotten. She is not center left. She is left. Anyone who supports Bernie Sanders is not center of is not center anything. She's on the left. Not make no mistake about it. She's just not insanely left, which unfortunately has become the norm in our culture.
Also, for my own thing, I used to call my alligators in ARC after Shoe on Head. One of my buddies was like, well, you make shoes out of leather, right?
Yeah.
And they're alligators, so they're alligator shoes. So there was a big shoe on head and a little shoe on head. And now they have like 3 other alligators that are bigger. I'm like, shit.
Frosted says she goes too heavy on the makeup. She does. I mean, I don't mind it. I like the look, but I can definitely see that, yes, she does use a lot of makeup.
Well, that happens with like her scene. Like, she was a little bit of a scene queen. Like, I think she was coming out of it when she was really starting up. And that's a look. Like, scene queen is like the hairstyle to the makeup style. And then as she's grown up, she's probably grown up with makeup all the time. She's under the camera, on the camera all the time. So yeah, you do. I it's why I don't really like using the camera.
Fair enough.
You know, like you start overthinking things that are just.
Yeah. No, I think like it's undeniable that she wears a lot of makeup. I don't think anyone sensible would deny it, but I don't mind it. I think it looks good on her. Maybe she would look very, very different without it. Silver Raven seems to say that she does. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen her without makeup. But yeah, no, it's kind of like the image that she projects to the world is her wearing makeup. So that's what I'm basing my opinion on. If she decided tomorrow, wash her face, no makeup ever again, then I'd reassess. But the public image of Shoe on Head is her wearing makeup, and I think it looks good. I like it.
I mean, she looks better than Melanie Mac. Like the other day on Chrissy's stream, I'm like, you've been crying for days, and then you went on to a stream with no makeup. I'm like, oh
yeah.
For a girl who's seen his makeup.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I never liked Melanie Mac was my introduction to her was basically a video of her just saying the English meatball word that I don't think I can say on Minions, the bundle of sticks, and she just said that over and over and over again, and it's like, okay, just saying the word isn't clever or funny. You need some sort of joke that you're making to add context and make it funny. Just screaming slurs isn't very entertaining.
A lot of her fights was basically over her being a bit of a hypocrite. Like she goes from like I don't mind Laura Croft's outfits or Eve from Stellar Blades to, oh my god, this character did a little dance.
Yeah, the first Descendant. That was the thing where she's like, this is just porn and this is too sexual, and it's like, you like Lara Croft. What are you talking about?
You have Lara Croft like being held up by a butter stick. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Frosted says that Shu takes off the makeup and is revealed as Christy Winters. That would be hilarious if that happened. Hopefully she does not resemble Christy Winters without the makeup, though. And Green Badger says her voice is annoying. I don't know if he means Melanie Mac or Shoe on Head. But,
Melanie Mac, I think, yeah. A lot of people find her a little bit grating.
Yeah. I don't listen to enough Melanie Mac to have an opinion of her voice, but I have no problem with Shu's voice.
I hope because one of the things I was disappointed about the quartering thing was there was an opening. Like I know Bearing was willing to do a debate with him on Yellow Flash's stream.
Yes.
Cheers, Yellow Flash, for being thrown so many times under the bus over a fight you're not involved in.
I know nothing about Yellow Flash. I just saw his name in relation to the Bearing and quartering drama.
Yeah, he had Bearing on his channel, and basically they were like, they watch each other, and I was like, oh, that's cool, maybe Bearing can hit our time zone again,
Okay.
But he was gonna, debate with Jeremy, and Jeremy chickened out, and there was this part of me who was just like, well, if Bearing goes on, maybe they could convince Dank to do another one with them and do a little reunion. And I know that's wishful thinking because I'm selfish. I would love them to do another stream together because Dank and Bearing were worth a lot.
I wonder if there's any archives, because there's got to be some autistic fan who downloaded all of the Incredible Salt Mine streams and has them somewhere that can re-upload them.
Hopefully.
There must be someone. They had enough of an audience that there must have been some autistic freak in the chat is like downloading all of their streams and saving them. Green Badger says that Melanie is the one he was referring to with the annoying voice. And he's only seen / heard when Monkey has reacted to her. Yeah, I haven't watched Monkey in forever, so I don't know what he's been reacting to, but yeah.
Yeah, I had to laugh a little bit because Smash JT covered one of his videos based off of Anita Sarkeesian. I have to stop myself from calling her Sarkeesian from When I played Raph with Satsu and Monkey, we called the shark Anita Sharkeeson. But yeah, he covered his video on her, and I mean, like, that was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Like shit. But hey, it introduced Smash to Ranting Monkey, so I'm like, hey.
Yeah. It's always funny when someone that like I consider like part of our friend group gets featured on like YouTube videos, because I was watching a Rev video and Cynical Lindsay, one of her tweets was being discussed on the video. It's like, oh, cool, I know who that is.
Like, yay! How you doing, Lindsay?
Yeah, and it was actually funny. One of my comments got featured on a Brian F stream. It's like, hey, I'm famous. I'm on the stream. I'm on the video. And not only was I on the, I was the inspiration for the entire video. I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Because he this is years and years ago when he used to play Street Fighter V, and there was a tournament that he used to do every week called NLBC, and I asked, are these tournaments open to anyone, or are they invitational, or like what's going on? And then he like dedicated an entire video to explaining the tournament structure, and no, these are open to anyone within certain geographical regions, because you have to play online. So they wouldn't want me in Australia playing with someone in Texas. That would be a terrible match. But they had like specific geographical regions that you had to be in to participate. Like, he dedicated his entire video just to explaining how it all worked. I was like, hey, that's me. I did that. And yes, Frosted forgot I'm an influencer now. I guess I am. I got was it 1,200 or something likes on a tweet, so that's it. I'm famous now. Well, the tweet was just me saying that Dr. Rita Dead is not real. She's a troll account, and that was apparently popular enough to get me like 1,200 likes. And yeah, Terry is net famous. I'm obviously not, but yes, it's funny to imagine that I'm an influencer. Yeah, one of my messages, I think it was my Facebook posts, and it was another one of my tweets, actually got used as a, like, there was an article and they used my tweet as like one of the examples of like people talking about the subject. It's like, hey, I'm famous again. Because Shell Oil, this is like 15 years ago, changed their name to SHE apostrophe LL in like for like Women's Day or some nonsense like that. And I said, that's it, misogyny is solved now. And they used my tweet in like the banner heading of the article. It's like, hey, I'm super famous now. It was like the Mirror or some like well-known publication. But yes, I'm super famous. It's undeniable.
At best, my flower is known for posting random quotes. I do actually think Andy Worski knows who I am.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Shit. Well, he did a response to something I said on a video where I was just like, did he actually hear that? Because it pretty much covered all my questions. Like, I think I said it on here to you about, how one of the reasons I did pull away was because of his drug use. Like, literally being old school Canadian to do that as a show of concern, because it is. And then he did this like big response video. And so like sometimes I post questions like jokes that are really old school Canadian or just still on point. Like I was pointing out other people from the past that caused kerfluffle in our community, One of the oldest names that I remember to cause bullshit was Kraut and T. And like he's recovered from a lot of this shit. So when everybody's like, oh, everyone's trying to cancel Jeremy, I'm like, no, I think most people are just wanting him to take a break because he looks like he's losing his shit. Like you look like you're gonna go into school shooter mode, man. Like you look so sick.
Yeah.
You know, but like I mentioned Kraut in his chat, and I'm like, yeah, these are all people that were involved back in the day. You know, Jeff Holiday. Like I don't hate Sargon, but he was involved in shit back then too. You know, like there was a lot of stuff to do with discourse and flagging each other and doxing each other and hounding each other in such a way where, like, yeah, a lot of us were like, I don't like that amount to level of drama.
Yeah, I saw Worski tweeting about not wanting a remake of Final Fantasy IX because of Square basically being crap, and so I tweeted it saying, I thought last I heard Andy Worski went insane, but this is like an accurate take, and he actually replied to me and said, yeah, like 7 years ago I was, you know, on alcohol and drugs, but I've been clean for a while now. So good on you.
I've been watching him a lot the last couple months because, like, I wanted to assess for myself because, like, I'm not blind. I live in Canada. There's quite a number. Sometimes you go to places and you're like, yeah, you know.
Blind lives in Canada. That doesn't mean you're not her.
Yeah, like, but like all the same, I wanted to see what they were about, and I realized right away that like PPP is phenomenally funny.
Yeah.
And Andy still has it as a host. Like he's really good at you know, because like anybody can get like a little too much energy or something. He's really good at reining him in or pointing out other things so that they can keep directed on the show, and then still have time to throw in his own jokes. He's still funny himself.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, like people acting as though he doesn't hold a grudge against people. Yeah, a lot of people fucked him over a lot, like a lot. And I don't doubt he did some back. Like nobody's pure in that last story, but yeah, I think that's why Jeremy's so mad.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully Jeremy gets help. It sounds like he's kind of spiraling. Hopefully he gets that under control because, you know, seems to be taken in some bad places. So hopefully he can get that sorted out before he does too much damage to his own career.
Well, flat out, he just needs to start targeting other channels. Like, just ignore them. Just ignore them. Yeah. Like, honestly, just ignore them. Like, they do move on to other people. Like, there's no one target. They're basically looking for locales because that's their bread and butter is locales.
Yeah. It's kind of like V was saying that Quartering's way out of this mess might be for some retarded reason. People were saying Watch Mojo of all places caused drama by freaking out over some response video. I don't know the details, but V was saying that with Watch Mojo freaking out, this could be the distraction that Jeremy needs because everyone's attention will be off him, and they can watch Mojo crashing out and making fools of themselves because they haven't been relevant in like 10 years. So it'll be interesting to see what Watch Mojo has to say for themselves about anything.
You're not wrong. I haven't heard of them for ages. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I was surprised that V brought up Watch Mojo, and then apparently there was some video that some nobody made, and it offended Watch Mojo enough that they wrote this big long response saying, you know, first of all, let me tell you this, and like they had like this big long YouTube comment trying to justify their existence. Probably not a good idea. But on that, we have actually hit our time.
We did.
Thank you, chat, for coming out and listening to us talk. Thank you, Jen, for keeping me company.
Mm-hmm.
And I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Avoid mixtape or Ape.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
Bye.